Greetings, this is Dr. Akila, and today I'm going to do a video presentation on 6 toxic foods to avoid at all costs. Everyone knows that old habits die hard. When making changes, some people prefer to go full force by changing everything all at once, but others choose the longer, slower approach, making small changes one at a time. Regardless of what method you take, adopting new eating habits can boost your energy levels, eliminate excess weight, and improve your overall health. In today's fast-paced world, eating healthy can be a challenge for anyone trying to obtain good health. And some people have no idea of what to do or where to start. In this video, I'm going to give you the top 6 foods to avoid in order to improve your health and well-being. The first on the list is high fructose corn syrup. If you look at the list of ingredients on the back of most processed foods, there's a strong chance you'll see one of the ingredients being high fructose corn syrup. This is considered one of the most unhealthiest and damaging sweeteners used by most food companies. High fructose corn syrup is a calorie-dense sweetener used to sweeten foods and beverages, particularly processed and store-bought foods. This sweetener is created by processing cornstarch to yield glucose and then processing the glucose to produce high percentage of fructose. It is primarily used as a preservative and sweetener in a multitude of food products. I suggest that you avoid anything that contains high fructose corn syrup because 1, the fructose can only be metabolized by the liver and can't be used for energy by the body. Not only is it completely useless for the body, but frequent consumption of high fructose corn syrup can damage the liver and lead to insulin resistance, which will result in diabetes. 2, it increases uric acid production, which in excess can cause gout, kidney stones, and increase the development of high blood pressure. A new study conducted by a nutritional biologist at the University of California showed that high fructose corn syrup significantly increased the risk of heart disease. 3, high fructose corn syrup rapidly causes leptin resistance. Leptin is a hormone that controls your appetite and metabolism to maintain a normal weight. Leptin-resistant people tend to gain fat and become obese really easy. In fact, it was discovered that most obese Americans consume high fructose corn syrup on a daily basis. But when this deadly sweetener was eliminated from their diet, they lost between 10 to 60 pounds without additional diet changes or exercise. And 4, high fructose corn syrup feeds cancer cells. A study published in the Journal of Cancer Research shows that cancer cells thrive on high fructose corn syrup. Researchers noticed that high fructose corn syrup not only increased the vitality of cancer cells, but it also increased the growth and spread of the cancer. The next foods to avoid are processed meats. According to the American Institute for Cancer Research, consumption of processed meats is related to an increased risk of colon cancer. These meats are very high in nitrates, chemical flavoring, dyes, and sodium, which makes it extremely harmful for your health. Processed deli meats like salami, ham, roast beef, and others are typically made with flesh from animals raised in confined animal feeding operations. This means they're giving growth hormones, antibiotics, and other veterinarian drugs. They are also raised in deplorable conditions which promote diseases. Researchers have linked processed meats to high rates of colon, stomach, and pancreatic cancer, but that's not all. Most processed deli meats also contain other cancer-promoting chemicals that are created during the cooking process. According to the 2011 review conducted by the World Cancer Research Fund, they investigated more than 7,000 clinical studies involving the consumption of processed meats. While looking at the connection between diet and cancer, they concluded that no one should eat processed meats. They found overwhelming evidence of how processed meats increase the risk of cancer, especially colon cancer. The third toxic food to avoid is margarine. If you are a member of our Facebook page, then you should be very familiar with this picture of ants choosing butter over the two versions of margarine to eat. This speaks volumes of how toxic margarine really is. Margarine is a manufactured food product. It was developed at the request of Emperor Napoleon III, who wanted something cheap for his poor subjects and armies. It was never designed to be healthy, nutritious, or beneficial for the body. It was designed to be a substitute for butter. You see, margarine is made from plant oils that are naturally healthy on their own. However, these oils are turned into unhealthy trans fats during the process of hydrogenation and after being subjected to extremely high temperatures and then injected with a catalyst like nickel, platinum, or aluminum to achieve a solid state. This process changes the molecular makeup of the oils, and after hydrogenation, the resulting chemical structure is closer to plastic than to edible oils. Needless to say, these thick hydrogenated oils, once ingested, may cause the blood to become thicker. This will cause the heart to work harder to pump blood through the body, thus resulting in elevated blood pressure levels. Margarine consumption results in the buildup of low-density lipoprotein, better known as LDL. LDL is known as the bad cholesterol, which results in excess buildup of plaque on the walls of your arteries. The more LDL you have in your blood, the higher your risk of heart disease. Margarine is very harmful to the body and is known to increase risk of coronary heart disease, increase risk of high blood pressure and cholesterol levels, decrease fertility in women, decrease immune functions, and increase blood insulin levels, which will result in the development of diabetes. With so many healthy choices available today, there's absolutely no reason why anyone should consume margarine. So avoid eating someone's chemistry lab experiment and choose real, natural, whole foods. Trust me, your heart will thank you in the end. The fourth toxic food to avoid is canned foods. In today's busy world, eating canned foods has become a habit for many Americans in the United States. The FDA reports that 17% of the American diet comes out of cans. Canned foods has received a lot of negative attention in recent years due to the potential danger of aluminum and tin leakage inside the food, causing major health problems. But as I dig deeper into the toxicity of canned foods, I found that the cans are lined with an epoxy resin that's made with BPA. Bisphenol A, also known as BPA, is a synthetic compound which mimics estrogen-like properties. The Environmental Working Group has found over 100 peer-reviewed studies that shows BPA to be toxic and dangerous to human health, even at low doses. These studies have linked BPA exposure to a wide range of health problems and diseases, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, breast cancer, fibroid tumors, prostate cancer, neurological disorders, obesity, and infertility. Another reason to stay away from canned foods is because of the preservatives added to the food. All canned foods have preservatives, and these chemicals are referred to by many different names. When added to canned foods, preservatives are kept fresh with salt. High dosage of sodium, are used to keep the preservatives and food from rotting inside the can. These preservatives are not only toxic for healthy people, but they may be extremely harmful for pregnant women, babies, children, the elderly, or anyone that is suffering from a chronic disease. The final point I want to make about canned foods is that most, if not all, canned food consist of low-quality foods. Here are the facts. Fruits, vegetables, lentils, soups, and meats are of high quality when sold fresh. Most of the times you can tell when a food is high in quality simply by looking at it and comparing it with the price tag. To cut down on cost, canned foods companies always pick low-quality foods that are old or stale and pack them into cans. Foods packed in cans are hidden from visual inspection from consumers. These foods are soaked in water-based liquid mixed with chemicals to preserve the food at its current state. I call this liquid found in cans embalming fluid for food. Why do I call it this? Because the chemicals added to canned foods can keep it from decaying for 5 years or more. 5 years or more. This is similar to foods sold at famous fast food chains. They will look the same years after its purchase. Let's face it, canned foods have zero nutritional value to it and are very high in chemicals, sodium, and metal material. So unless you're surviving a zombie apocalypse, just avoid eating it altogether. The next food to avoid is genetically modified foods, also known as GMOs. You don't have to look hard to find genetically modified foods on supermarket shelves. More than 85% of the corn and soy grown in the United States come from seeds whose DNA have been rejiggered in order to increase yields. GMO corn and soy are found in most processed foods, from sweets to breakfast cereals to breads. If it's processed, 8 times out of 10, it will have GMO ingredients listed on the package. Genetically modified foods have been on the market since 1994, and studies have linked GMO foods to kidney and liver malfunctions, in addition to inflammation, cancer, anemia, and infertility. A new study released in September 2014 gives evidence that GMOs should have been banned before they were ever allowed on the market. This study pinpoints a significant correlation between genetically modified foods and 22 diseases. Published in the Journal of Organic Systems, this study gives detailed evidence of the link between genetically modified ingredients and diseases such as liver failure, urinary and bladder cancers, hypertension, thyroid disease, stroke, obesity, and more. Some people argue that GMO foods are just as good for you as natural foods. Here's my reply to such a statement. Any so-called food that originated out of a laboratory and has a patent is far from being natural. However, if you're comfortable eating someone's science project, then go for it. I, on the other hand, prefer to eat healthy foods made by God over harmful foods made by man. And finally, the last toxic foods to avoid are caffeinated products. Coffee, energy drinks, chocolate, sodas, teas, diet pills, ice cream. Oh my goodness, when it comes to certain foods high in caffeine, the list can be quite lengthy. Most people don't know this, but caffeine is classified as a drug, and like most drugs, can become very addictive. I've heard countless people confess during their consultation with me that they could not function without their first cup of coffee in the morning. However, if you replace the word coffee with the word cocaine, you would think that this person has an addiction problem. Dude, if I can't have my cocaine in the morning, I can't function.
Really, dude? I feel the same way with my coffee. If I don't drink my Grande Quad, not fat, one pump, no whip mocha cappuccino in the morning from Starbucks, my day is totally ruined.
Whoa, dude, that's a lot of caffeine. I think you got a problem, man.
Really, dude?
Really? Caffeine, the main ingredient found in coffee, energy drinks, chocolate, black, white, and green teas, is a stimulant. It increases your heart rate, raises your blood pressure, dehydrates your body, and tightens up your muscles. Caffeine injects adrenaline into your system, which will give you a boost of energy. This action overstimulates the adrenal glands, which will cause fatigue and insomnia with persistent use. Like most drugs, caffeine comes with a long list of side effects. Caffeine diuretic effects causes the loss of potassium, calcium, magnesium, zinc, the B vitamins, and vitamin C. It also increases the size of uterine fibroids, reduces absorption of iron and calcium, causes headaches, increased agitation, promotes ulcer production, and causes sleep deprivation. A study released by the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology found that women who consume 200 milligrams or more of caffeine daily are twice as likely to have a miscarriage as those who don't consume any caffeine. With so much documented evidence against the consumption of caffeine, why put your health at risk by eating or drinking it? If you are currently addicted to caffeine and wish to become caffeine-free, please wean yourself off of caffeine slowly. I suggest consulting with an experienced health expert who can help alleviate some of the withdrawal symptoms that comes with eliminating caffeine from your diet. By doing so, you'll find the process more bearable and successful. Once your body gets used to being caffeine-free, you'll feel so good that you wish you kicked the caffeine habit sooner. This concludes my video presentation on the 6 toxic foods to avoid at all costs. If you would like to receive a free PDF file of the healthy alternatives to all of these toxic foods mentioned in this video, simply click on the top button. I will also provide a direct link inside the description box. You can download this file to your desktop, laptop, and mobile devices. If you enjoyed this information, please subscribe so that you can be notified about videos uploaded to this channel in the future. This is Dr. Akila wishing you all a healthy and happy day. Thanks for watching.